All right, hey everyone. Looks like we have some folks joining us for the Lurie College of Education webinar and introduction and overview to our college today. So as you're joining, we're going to get started in a couple minutes. But if you want to open up the chat, you can find that in the bottom of your Zoom window. And if you want to message the option that says all panelists and attendees and tell us where you're joining us from today, and we'll go ahead and get started in a couple minutes. I am joining from Fremont, California. So I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat. Looking forward to meeting you all. All right, we got Sunnyvale in the house today. Santa Clara. Folks joining from Monterey, San Luis Obispo, Sacramento, San Jose, Fremont, nice. Santa Barbara. LA, Sunnyvale. Garlic City, nice, I like it. Santa Barbara. Long Beach. Nice, Marcos, yeah. Everyone's joining from far away today. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the music so we can get started here. So let me stop my screen share, and then you can also see all the panelists we have here today. Let me turn the music off on my end. All right. Yeah, hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Lurie College of Education webinar. Excited you're all able to join us today remotely. So before we get started with the welcomes and introductions, I just wanted to share a couple of slides with you, just to cover a couple of announcements and provide you an overview of the session. So just to let you all know, we are recording this event. Those of you who are attending the webinar, your video and audio is automatically turned off. So you're not on camera or anything. Anything that you say will not be recorded. Captions of the event will be available when the recording is shared out afterwards. And I think we're going to get someone set up potentially for live captioning during the event right now as well. If you do have any questions throughout the webinar, you can feel free to use the chat box to go ahead and enter those in there. And then we'll do our best to respond to as many and all of those as we can. And then if you'd like to ask a live question, there is another option in the bottom of your screen that says raise hand, I believe. Yep. So you can select the raise hand option, and then we can actually turn your mic on if you want to ask a live question verbally instead of typing it in the chat box. So here's an overview of today's session. We are going to provide an initial welcome from our deans, and then transition to our departments to welcome you all to the department that you've been admitted to, either Child Adolescent Development or Communicative Disorders and Sciences. We have a few of our current students who will be joining us today for a student panel, and then we'll wrap up with some final Q&A and upcoming webinars that we have throughout the remainder of our virtual open house for Admitted Spartan Week. So now we're going to go ahead and transition off to our Dean, Heather Lattimer, to welcome you all. So I just want to ask all the other panelists to go ahead and mute your mics and disable your video, and then we'll let Heather take it away.
Thanks, Brian. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to our new students and their families. I suspect many of your families are watching over your shoulders. I'm a parent of a college student, and I know I would be watching over their shoulders. So we're delighted to have all of you with us this morning. We know that this is a big decision and that it's hard to make, especially in this time where you can't come to campus and meet us in person. And we are really sorry that that's not possible. We would love to be on campus with you this morning, but we're really thrilled that you're able to take the time to join us remotely. Congratulations to everybody. Being admitted to college is a huge step in your lives, and we are so proud to welcome you to San Jose State, and so proud and pleased that all that you've accomplished to bring you to this point in your educational journey. Who are we? We are a college of about 2,000 students, so we're the smallest of the colleges at San Jose State, which means that we provide a lot of collaborative group work that is really an intimate setting for you to have your educational experience. Our undergraduates are about 1,000 students, and our graduates are about 1,000 students across 7 different programs, ranging from our Child and Adolescent Development and Communicative Disorders and Sciences programs at the undergraduate level, through to credential and master's programs, and even to a doctorate in education program. And many of our students who are in our doctoral program started where you are today as undergraduates, either coming in as first years or transfer students and joining us, and then staying with us as they continued on their educational and professional journeys. So we hope that will someday be you as well. Why choose Lurie College? Why choose to come and be part of us? Well, we hope you already have some ideas about that, but I want to highlight 5 reasons for you today. So the first is our faculty. Our faculty are amazing teachers, and that's something that is always really critically important, but not something that is always true in all college settings. But our faculty have really committed themselves to ensuring that they're going to be great teachers for you. Even right now, when we're in a time of remote learning, our faculty have worked incredibly hard to ensure that our students have high quality learning experiences. And that's something that is just critically important for all of us and for you, for your education. They're also outstanding researchers, which means that they are up to date on the latest in their fields, that they're generating new ideas and information that's reflective of what's happening in their field, and that they're going to share that with you. They're also going to engage you in that research process alongside them. We have lots of opportunities for students to participate in research alongside faculty. And most importantly, they care about their students. I arrived on campus about 2 years ago, and one of the things that has consistently impressed me is just how much our faculty care about the success of their students, as human beings, as individuals who are on that career journey, on that lifelong learning journey. And they're committed to student success. And so that manifests itself both by creating wonderful learning experiences, but also in those relationships that you have, the conversations that are the hallway conversation or the office hours that maybe start with talking about a particular assignment, but end up in a long conversation about goals and hopes and aspirations. And that's something that is just a critical part of your educational journey, to have people who are going to be your mentors. And that's who our faculty are. They're outstanding teachers, researchers, and mentors, and they're committed to your success. A second reason to come to Lurie College is because of our student community. We have outstanding students, and we hope that you're going to come and be among them. Our students come from a diverse range of backgrounds. Most are from California, both Northern and Southern and Central California as well. They range in age. So we have some students who are traditionally aged students, and we have other students who are coming back to college, back to university after a range of different life experiences that help to enrich the educational learning experience that they're having in our classrooms. We also have students who are committed to making an impact. And that's perhaps the most exciting thing to me, is that when you talk with our students, all of them are committed to making an impact in their communities, in the lives of children and individuals and families. And that makes a huge difference to the kind of conversations that you engage with in classrooms and outside of classrooms on a daily basis. We have a rich range of experiences that are clubs and fun social gatherings, as well as professional learning experiences that students engage with collaboratively, and that's a lot of fun. So it's a fun place to be with a committed group of student colleagues. A third reason is because of the experiences. Our faculty and our students have a range of different opportunities for you to collaborate around hands-on learning. We have 2 lab schools that are right here on campus. We have a clinic, the speech language pathology and audiology clinic right here on campus that gives you that hands-on learning to ensure that the work that you're doing in the classroom translates into real-world impact. We also have partnerships off campus with schools and with clinics, both in medical settings and in educational settings, that allow you to continue that hands-on learning experience. Additionally, as I mentioned before, there's opportunities for our undergraduates to engage in research alongside faculty. We know that engaging in research is a high impact practice, meaning that it helps our students to learn, to stay on track, to graduate, and to go on to great careers. So that's something that is an opportunity that's unique. Not all colleges and universities will have the opportunity for undergraduates to engage in research alongside faculty, but we're really excited that that's an opportunity here at our college. A 4th reason is the support that you'll receive here, not only from our faculty and staff, but also from our Student Success Center. Janine Perez, who you'll hear from in a little bit, and her team are absolutely committed to the work that they're doing through mentoring, through advising, through groups and organizations that they facilitate to support your success. There's workshops, there's calling to connect with you. We want to make sure that you're on, that your success, that you're on track to graduate, that you're going to be able to have all that you need to be successful while you're here and after you leave us. We're committed to that success. And the 5th reason to join us is because of the mission that we have. And we're committed to making an impact in the world, and we believe that our students are as well. Our mission statement is that we prepare educators, counselors, therapists, school and community leaders to make a transformative difference in the lives of individuals, families, and communities. If this is something that resonates for you, if this is something that you believe in, then you belong here. We know that this is a big decision, especially now when there's so much change going on and so much uncertainty. We recognize that. And unfortunately, I don't have answers as to exactly what things will look like in the fall. We know that we are committed to ensuring that you have a high quality educational experience, and we're committed to your safety and health and well-being. So ensuring whatever social distancing measures need to be kept in place. I will say that regardless of what that looks like, one thing I am certain of is that we're committed to you, we're committed to your educational experience, we're committed to working with your families and with your communities to ensure that you have a successful college journey. So we hope that you will join us because we believe in you. We're here to help you. And if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. As I mentioned, this is a group of people who I feel just incredibly fortunate to work alongside every day because they are committed to our students. We are committed as a group to ensuring your success. So if you have any questions or concerns, and mom and dad and aunt and uncle and grandma and grandpa, that means you too. If you have any questions, please reach out to us because we want to try to provide those answers so that you'll join us in August, sorry. So that's all that I have to say right now. I appreciate your time and thank you. Congratulations again, and we look forward to having you join us here in the fall.
Thanks so much, Heather. Marcos, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I wasn't on the agenda, but I will just say it's really exciting for y'all to be here, and so sad that we can't see you in person and meet you and smile and shake your hands, because that's the way we want to do. We want to be in community with you. We will do that as soon as we can. Heather hit on all of the hot spots, and you're going to hear more about it. But it is definitely a dynamic, exciting place to be. And we could talk to you way more about all the different opportunities that you'll have in our college. So thanks for being here, everyone.
Brian, you're muted.
Let me unmute myself. There we go. So thanks so much. We're going to transition over to our department welcome from the Department of Child and Adolescent Development now. So we'll have our department chair, Dr. Emily Slusser, joining us. I'm going to go ahead and share your slides, Emily, and then just let me know when you want me to advance them.
Will do. Thank you. Right. So I'm Emily Slusser, the Department Chair for Child and Adolescent Development. In fact, this is a relatively new role for me. When I transitioned into this role, I had about 7 or 8 years of experience teaching in the department. But one of the things that I wanted to do from this new perspective is get a better understanding of our department. So what I did was collect all the information that I'm sure you're reading through on our website, mission statement, program overview, and our faculty profiles, and developed this word cloud. If Brian, you just advance one slide there. And it really helps me to kind of understand where our values are, where our content and experience is, and I'm hoping that it will do the same for you as well. There's a lot of information that we could cover. We're going to try to do that relatively quickly. In fact, I'll go ahead and introduce my colleagues also on the call. We have Professor Laura Pirazzi. She's going to talk to you a little bit more about our program, our students, and our faculty. And then Dr. O'Donnell Johnson, and when it's her turn, she'll go ahead and introduce herself as well. She's going to talk to you a little bit more about our curriculum because we have some pathways that you might be interested in, and we want to make sure that we're getting that information out to you today. All right, so Brian, if you don't mind advancing a slide, I'll hand it over to Laura.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura. I am an instructor in the Child Development Department and also a major advisor. So this first slide talks about our CHAD family. We have over 700 students, a very diverse student body. We are very excited to have 180 students graduating this spring. And then for our first-time freshmen and transfer students, so last fall we welcomed around 200 new students to our department. And that included around 70 first-time freshmen and then 120 new junior transfer students. Next slide, please. Okay, you've already heard a bit about our faculty. Specific to the CHAD department, we have approximately 40 faculty members. This picture doesn't include all of us. And then as you can see there, we have a wide range of knowledge and research interests. And then as you've already heard, we're all really devoted to helping our students succeed. I was actually a CHAD student in our graduate program once upon a time. And I can really say from both sides that we really do have amazing faculty members that care about the success of our students. Right, next slide.
Okay, I'm Terry O'Donnell Johnson. I'm on the faculty as well as a CHAD advisor. And these are the core coursework classes that everybody in the CHAD department takes. The first, we have research methods in child development, contemporary parenting, childhood and multicultural societies, social and emotional development, motivating children in educational settings, contextual influences on cognitive development, and then the senior seminar in child development. Can you advance the next slide? Okay, in the CHAD department, we have actually 2 majors. The first major is Child and Adolescent Development, the Prep for Teaching, and 2 options within that. But all of our students in the Prep for Teaching are interested in going on to get a multiple subjects credential to teach K through 8th grade. The subject matter foundation courses include health and fitness, the language arts, science, math, as well as the visual and performing arts. There's also service learning involved in some of the subject matter classes. And then the pre-professional experience requirement, which is required for the credential program, is your placement in an elementary school classroom. Next slide, please. Child and Adolescent Development, what we call Plan B, has 2 options. The first is for those who are interested in early childhood education. So that there's a core of coursework that is centered around early childhood that includes curriculum, administration, as well as your placement in the preschool labs that Heather talked about with either the preschool or the toddler lab. Next slide. And then we also have the community focus. This is for students who are interested in working with agencies that serve children, youth, and families. And that core of courses also includes nonprofit management, how to evaluate programs, and then a placement in a nonprofit agency.
All right, then I'll just pick it up to say we've got a lot of extras too. You'll hear a lot about the university resources and college resources, activities and opportunities over the next week, but I'll point out Specific to CHAD, we have a CHAD club. It's a network of our CHAD majors, and what's really cool about it, it's been around for a while, and so it's growing, it's big, and it's very active. We also have the new launch of the Early Childhood Student Alumni Network. So for those of you who are focused on early childhood, we're bringing students across campus for this particular network, all people, all majors interested in early childhood development. So lots of activities in addition to the curriculum that we have to offer in CHAD. We'll just go ahead to the next slide and say that we hope to see you in the fall. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks to the three of you for joining us today and for providing an overview of all the different academic and extracurricular, co-curricular opportunities that are available. So next we're going to transition over to our Department of Communicative Disorders and Sciences and welcome our Department Chair, Dr. Nidhi Mahendra, to provide an overview.
Hi, everyone. Hello, future Spartans. It's a pleasure to get to talk to you. Thank you for thinking about our bachelor's in communicative disorders and sciences seriously. I want to introduce you a little bit to the profession itself. You know, it is not a well-known profession, but an incredibly promising one. If you know a little bit about the history of speech-language pathology and audiology, you will know that in California, we face a dire shortage of speech-language pathologists and audiologists, and we are so pleased that we get to offer a robust Bachelor's of Arts degree in communicative disorders and sciences that hopefully does for you what it did for me many years ago, which is that it opened the doors to a vibrant, dynamic career in speech-language pathology and audiology. We are very fortunate that we have both master's programs in speech pathology and doctoral program in a new doctoral program in audiology, which means that for you, there is that pathway to moving forward even after this graduate degree, this undergraduate degree, to consider graduate career. Brian, am I able to share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay, I just wanted to check. So I wanted to walk you through a little bit, do a little bit what our CHAD colleagues did, giving you a glimpse and a snapshot into the undergraduate degree. And I'm going to do that by sharing my screen and some resources, kind of get to walk you through. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so one of the things about this degree is that it is a beautiful blend of the sciences, you know, the arts, the humanities, and in this process of developing skills, preclinical skills to become a therapist, you really do a lot of varied types of coursework, including some that is outside the department in areas where we really want you to develop a foundation in the basic sciences, in CHAD and Child and Adolescent Development, before you get into some science foundations within speech pathology and audiology. So this includes courses in your very, as you start in your junior year in this major, you would be looking at developing competency in hearing science, language and speech development, getting an overview of both educational and medical settings that many of our bachelor's graduates go on to practice in. So we introduce that broad span of how we serve people with communication disorders across the lifespans. And then as you get that foundation, we then start to take you more into thinking about screening people with communication disorders. How do you assess and what are the principles for including people with communication disorders to fully achieve their educational, social, occupational, and family role goals that they might aspire to. So in the spring of your junior year, you start to do guided clinical observations, learn much more about assessment and treatment of disorders. Following that, we then build on, see if I can scroll here. Following that, we build on to actually having all of our undergraduates, as many as can, to be a part of our on-campus clinic. Heather alluded to that, and this is an incredible strength of an undergraduate program in CDNS. You will find as you compare us to any other CDS programs, less than half of the programs, bachelor's programs in CDNS offer undergraduate students a chance to do clinical practicum. And we offer that to our undergraduates in both speech pathology and audiology. This is in large thanks to the fact that we have a very robust K. Armstead Center for Communicative Disorders and Sciences on our clinic, where you are able to have the benefit of having these hands-on learning opportunities as we serve anywhere between 100 to 150 patients every single week all around the year. So that's a little bit about our roadmap. I also wanted to tell you, kind of matching what Heather was saying, our faculty are nationally and internationally known and have collectively earned every award and accolade that's out there in the professions of speech pathology and audiology. Our student community, as Heather alluded, is particularly vibrant. It's called, we have a student organization that's a nationally recognized organization called NISLA, National Students in Speech, Language, and Hearing Association, and they're particularly active. If you are seeing my screen correctly, you probably see a picture of our current officers and their Instagram and Twitter accounts. And I ask that you follow us on those portals so that we can kind of give you an updated overview of events and happenings in the department. I also wanted to just show you our home website for our bachelor's program so that you can see much more of what we do to prepare our students to be competitive, not just for our own graduate program, but also other graduate programs, as well as careers in educational settings and medical settings as well. In closing, I want to say that I remember very well my bachelor's degree being sort of that gateway to the rest of my life, if you will. And we take that very seriously, the trust that you place in us by joining our program, and that this really has to be an opening of the door to the rest of your brilliant future. So congratulations on the journey so far, and welcome to Communicative Disorders and Sciences.
Thanks so much, Nidhi. We did have one question that came through the chat. The question is, if you major in communicative disorders and sciences, could you still become a psychologist with that degree?
That's a great question. So to become a clinical psychologist, the terminal degree requirement often is a graduate or doctoral degree. So suffice it to know that students that do our bachelor's degree, I would say about half of them end up in speech pathology and audiology, or maybe a little more. And the others pursue a wide variety of careers, including, as you mentioned, psychology, but also special ed, public health, health communications, counseling. So it really is a broad-based degree that launches you very nicely into a variety of educational and healthcare fields. Great question.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you all have other questions, you can feel free to add those to the chat. We're going to go ahead and transition over to our student panel now. So Luz, if you could turn on your video, and then I have a couple other panelists that I have to add from the attendee list, if you want to just give me a moment to do that. So Melissa, I'm going to add you right now. And Caitlin, I'm adding you right now. All right, we can get you all unmuted here. Awesome, here we all are. All right, well, thanks so much to the three of you, Luz, Melissa, and Caitlin, for joining us today to share some of your insights as current students in the College of Education, but also student leaders and those who I think have a lot of really valuable perspectives. I was wondering if you all could just start by sharing an example or a story of a significant learning moment that you've had during your time in the College of Education. Could be something inside the classroom, a research project, an extracurricular or co-curricular experience, just whatever is most meaningful for you. So maybe Luz, if we could start with you.
For me, I think was right off, once I started my first year at San Jose State, I really knew that once I took my first CHAD course, I really understood that I really wanted to be in the CHAD department. So once I took my first CHAD 60 class, I started talking to Ellen, and I got to know her a lot better, and she started talking to me about the potential careers I could have as a CHAD major. And it just made me fall in love with what I wanted to do. So I feel like that was a good eye-opening experience for me, because I just knew that it just solidified that I was in the right department and I was in the right path to do what I wanted to do.
Awesome. And when you said Ellen, you were referring to Dr. Ellen Middoff, is that right?
Ellen Middoff, yeah.
Awesome. And Melissa, do you want to share next?
Sure. I actually just had like a little educational moment this semester. I've had them throughout my whole time at San Jose State, but this specific professor is Professor Malik. And the way that she interacts with us is very vulnerable. So I think that vulnerability in education and like overall, if you're a teacher or if you're interacting with anyone, I feel like vulnerability is important to have. And this is something that she has with all her students. And I think it has helped me be more open with my students. And it has helped me just allow myself to connect with others more. So I think a lot of professors are vulnerable and they open themselves up to all the students. And I think that's an important trait to have.
Awesome. I think, yeah, just with those first two examples alone, you're both kind of highlighting the importance of the relationships that you all have with your faculty and how those impact kind of how you see yourselves going forward as an academic and as a professional. So, Caitlin, do you want to share next?
Of course. So significant learning moment I had was being able to apply what like I've learned through my CHAD courses, through the volunteer experiences we do, but also through the practicum. So it's really cool to see what you're learning in class and being able to apply that or see it firsthand, like in the community. So that's
Yeah, and that's really important too, right? To not just learn something inside the classroom, but understand how and actually be able to experience how that's applicable outside of the classroom as you're thinking ahead to what life will look like for you after you wrap up. And I think that's a good transition into our next question. I'm wondering, when you all look back at this time, after you've graduated and kind of moved on to the next step, whether that's graduate school or getting into your careers, what are some of the things that you'll remember most about your time in the Lurie College of Education and at San Jose State as a whole? Maybe we can go in the same order this time. Luz, if you want to start first.
Definitely the faculty and the staff here at the Lurie College of Education. Like from the very beginning, you really get a sense that they really do care about you as a person and your success. And that's something that isn't really common in college, but I feel like that's something that's really unique to the Lurie College of Education, is that the faculty genuinely cares about you. And it's such a good feeling to have because they believe in you. They want you to be successful. So definitely that's something I would always remember.
Awesome. Melissa, do you want to share next?
Yeah. I think for me, I was a transfer student. So for me, I think definitely community was something that I was able to sense, especially in the Lurie College of Education, super quickly. I got to meet Luz and Caitlin there, which has definitely helped me just adapt from a community college to a four-year university. So I think definitely not just with other students is there a community, but also within the faculty and the staff, as Luz mentioned.
And kind of tying in what Melissa and Luz said, I think something that I'll remember is the amount of support you get from everyone, the faculty and staff. And then that helps you and makes you feel like you have a community. So that's something that I'll remember, the amount of community and everyone that's willing to be there for you and support you through your education, through the amount of years you're there and everything that you go through.
Yeah, thanks so much for those responses. I think collectively, your three responses just show that it's much more than just an academic experience, right? You are part of a community, and we want you all to feel supported and feel like you are able to form really meaningful, valuable, quality relationships with one another, with your faculty, with the staff, with your departments, with folks across campus. So thank you for sharing that. So lastly, I was wondering if you could all just share what your most valuable resource is on campus. So that could be, again, it could be a relationship or a connection that you have to a person or a group. It could be a space on campus. just whatever it comes to mind for you. I think that might be helpful for some of our attendees just to learn about, what some of the valuable resources are as they're thinking ahead to the fall semester.
So for me, I'm going to talk about a resource, the Writing Center on campus. So whether you like it or not, you're going to be writing a lot of papers in college. And for a lot of students, especially incoming freshmen and transfers, this is a new skill that a lot of people don't have. So I would say this is a valuable resource because it definitely could help you elevate your writing and get that extra practice, because you will be writing a lot of papers, and sooner or later you're going to be seeing that you may think you're a good writer, and you might get into college and that might not reflect really well on that grade you get. So definitely use the Writing Center. And the cool thing about, if you're in the Lurie College of Education, we have our own writing tutor that's definitely specializes in CHAD. So definitely use that resource because it will help you out a lot.
I think for me there's a lot of different clubs within the Lurie College and San Jose State overall, but for me, the Promise Group is definitely a source of community, and also a different source where we can discover different things of our future career, and as well as what we're doing now. So that has definitely given me a sense of home at the Lurie College of Education. And I think Luce and Caitlin can both agree with me and say that it's definitely been something that has helped us within our journey.
A resource that I would like to point out is your professors. It's probably a little obvious, but your professors are there, and I think the professors, a part of the Lurie College, are always there to support you and make you feel comfortable and want you to succeed. But just as Melissa said, the Promise Group, but it's part of the Lurie College Education, and it's a group that pairs you up with a mentor and helps you get used to that transition from high school to college, and it supports you through your years there. So that's a place where I've been able to find community and support, and an overall good resource.
Awesome. Well, thanks again to all three of you for sharing those responses. I feel like that was kind of a good combination of very practical resources that you all want to utilize during your academic experience, but then also, again, support networks, establishing relationships with folks, et cetera. So thank you. I did just realize we had one of our other student panelists who is in the attendee list. So Charline, if you're there, I'm going to add you as a panelist now, if that's okay. And then maybe we can add some of your insights to this conversation as well. Hey, Charline.
Hi.
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Of course. Hello.
So I know we just went through the few questions, but I would be interested to hear some of your insights to those questions as well, especially since Melissa, Caitlin, and Luz are all CHAD students in Child and Adolescent Development, and then you've gone through both the undergraduate program and are in the graduate program currently for Communicative Disorders and Sciences. So I was wondering if you can share an example or a story of a significant learning moment that you've had.
Sure. I don't really have a specific story, but I can say that there are definitely opportunities of learning outside of the classroom that are just as beneficial as the ones inside. Like, for example, going on mini field trips or meeting guest speakers really help provide a real life application to what we're learning through lecture or in textbooks. And additionally, being involved with these outside activities like tutoring, volunteering, or attending conventions can really also help you round out your experience.
Awesome. And when you look back at this time after you've completed your grad program and kind of moved on to the next step, what are some of the things that you'll remember most about being a part of the community here?
What I'll remember most from my time here at Lurie College is a sense of sort of belonging and community at the college. The university is really big on social events and organizations, so there's always something new to be a part of. My memories with my major-related organization are definitely unforgettable, and I've made lasting connections with my class because of that opportunity.
Awesome. And finally, what's your most valuable campus resource?
For me, it was definitely CAPS, which is the Counseling and Psychological Services on campus. In my opinion, it's one of the most valuable because they provide personal and academic counseling. I personally debated on going in undergrad, but I'm glad I did in my graduate sort of career because it really helps you sort of refocus. And when you have some stressful opportunities or stressful situations in your school life and that sort of matches up with your personal life, it's a really good place to sort of have someone to talk to and really just being able to realign and refocus.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing those with us. Yeah, and I appreciate just overall your responses, again, kind of touching upon all those things, thinking about the combination of learning and theory, but also the, the practice and applied aspects of the experience, thinking about the community of support and belonging, and then again, really touching upon a really valuable, tangible campus resource. So thank you. So now we are going to transition to the final part of our webinar today, which is just previewing what's ahead. So Janine, if you want to turn your camera on.
Actually, really quickly, before I turn my camera on, our Associate Dean had a great question. If our panelists on their way out could tell us something surprising or exciting about San Jose State and the Lurie College that they never knew until they got here, or just the coolest thing about Lurie College.
I can go. So the coolest thing that I have to say about SJSU and overall the whole college is that I didn't think when there's like, in the college there's so many people, everyone's so diverse. You'll never meet anybody just like you. There's so many different races and ethnicities and religions. So you get to make a bunch of different relationships that help you in your, like, I guess, day-to-day life.
I can go next. So I think that there's a lot of events to attend, like every day there's different events that will both help you socially but also academically. And I think that's something that, for example, in community college, that's something that there isn't much of. And when there is, it's for a specific group of people. So I think that's something that's really cool.
Liz, you're muted right now. I'll unmute you.
Sorry. So for me, it would be that I was really surprised to know that the Lurie College of Education had so many opportunities to grow, not just academically, but professionally. And that's something that I didn't think was possible, but it definitely is. And it's amazing.
Charline, do you want to round it out?
And just to build off of on top of what everyone else has said, in addition to all the diversity and all the opportunities, what I was really surprised of was also the amount of collaboration between the different organizations, students, faculty, and just different programs within the college to really help round out everyone's experience while they're here.
All right, awesome. I'm checking the chat box to see if we have some other questions here. Natalia asked if you all had any advice that you can provide. I know I asked you all to provide some words of advice or wisdom in that video we put together a couple weeks ago. So I'm wondering if maybe you would just want to share what you shared in that video, if you can remember. I know you actually kind of touched upon some of it in your responses today, but if there's any other advice that you want to impart upon those who are attending today or watching the recording later, feel free to chime in.
Sorry, Luz.
No, go ahead.
So I think something that I definitely would advise is asking questions is very important. I know it's a little bit intimidating being at a new college or if you're transferring. I know it's intimidating just being in a new environment, but I think definitely asking questions and being open to meeting new people, because there's a lot of social events that you can go ahead and attend and people are really welcoming. I know we have the Chat Club they have a bunch of activities to do, and the Promise Group, everyone there is super welcoming. So that's definitely some advice I'd give.
For me, a piece of advice I would give incoming freshmen and transfer students is definitely don't be afraid to get to know your classmates. Because especially in like your first year, your first time in like Melissa said, a new setting, those people are going to become like a really good support system. They could help you, in class. And that's a good way to start making new friends and meeting new people. So definitely don't get out of your comfort zone and make friends in class, because they'll definitely be a big help for you.
I would kind of say what Lou said, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try new things or be out of your comfort zone. It's going to open so many doors to you and get you to build a big community within the college.
I absolutely agree. I came in as a freshman and I would consider myself to be very shy. And then I sort of just took the leap, and then I joined SJSU Lurie, and then I ended up becoming the president senior year. And I still have lasting connections with my whole undergraduate cohort, and then just leading on that energy to the graduate cohort, just being able to try new things, not being afraid. You may fall, you may stumble, but you do have that support group there that's always going to be there for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I like the consistency across all of your responses in terms of the advice. Just taking risks, putting yourself out there, asking questions, making connections with folks, and learning and growing throughout the whole experience. That's what it's all about. Cool. So I'm looking through the chat box. I think we've addressed all the questions that have come through so far, but if you all have any other questions, you can feel free to drop those in there. Otherwise, we will go ahead and transition over to the last part of our webinar and introduce the director of our Student Success Center, Janine Perez.
Thanks, Brian. And before they log off, I just want to say I really love to see all of the student panelists. It's been a few weeks since we've seen you in our center, and so it's really nice to see all of you online today. As Brian mentioned, we have we have quite a few days of exciting webinars, virtual tours, things to get you familiar with San Jose State and the Lurie College of Education. And as you're moving through those days, really wanted to draw your attention to Thursday. Thursday is going to be the day where our Student Success Center team gets to meet all of you. We have a really fun team made up of some great advisors, a program coordinator. We also work really closely with a couple of faculty. And some of our students today have alluded to something called the Promise Group. The Promise Group is going to be highlighted on Thursday, so I hope that you will join us to learn more about that, how to sign up. We're also going to give you a little bit of preview of what orientation this summer will look like, and ways for you to stay connected with the college and advisors in the Student Success Center as we move into the summer. So if you are joining us as a current high school student and going to be coming in as a frosh, we have a webinar for you on Thursday at 2 o'clock. And I believe Brian has sent you lots of great links and fun videos, and these links are also in your email. If you are a transfer student joining us, on Thursday, we will also be dedicating a webinar for you at 3 o'clock. So we welcome you to join us on Thursday. We welcome your families, significant others. Bring your questions, so things that maybe you didn't get to ask today. Please bring on Thursday. Take a look at our website. Take a look at the different, your departments that you're interested in, CHAD and CD&S, and bring your questions, and we'll be excited to answer those and to see you all.
All right, thanks, Janine. Yeah, and as Janine alluded to, I have been sending out those weekly newsletters every Monday to all of you with just some overview of different resources and stories and announcements about things that are happening at the college. So the next mailing that goes out on Monday will include the recording of today's webinar, along with the links for the webinars on Thursday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I don't believe we have any other questions in the chat. So I guess I was wondering if maybe all the panelists could turn their videos back on, just so we can all be on the screen one more time. Here we are, big group. Oh, let me see if I can turn Marcos's video back on. Hang on one second. Hey, there we go. All right, well, I think that's all we have for today. Heather, do you want to finish it off?
Sure. Well, actually, I was going to ask some of the questions that were posed to the panelists. I think would be interesting for the presenters as well. And I know that Nidhi talked a little bit about her own experience, and I really appreciated that. I'll share that for myself, I started out as a teacher in San Jose Unified at Lincoln High School. I was a history teacher. Though I spent the next 20 years in Southern California, being able to come back to San Jose and engage in the community here definitely felt like a homecoming. And the experiences that you have in those early career opportunities do influence you in many ways. So I'd be curious to hear from my colleagues. What are things that have influenced you along the way, and or what are some of the favorite things that you love about Lurie College and San Jose State University? Emily, can we start with you?
That's so funny, because I was thinking, oh, well, somebody else will go first and that'll generate some ideas, but I've been called upon. No, I think that my background is a little scattered, and I think a lot of us come from really eclectic backgrounds, and but we're all very happy to have ended up in the Lurie College. But what that means is that we're coming in with very different perspectives and inherently interdisciplinary. So we have we value what psychology contributes to our discipline. We value what sociology contributes and all the rest. And many of our students will pursue minors so that they can continue to add breadth to their experiences here at San Jose State. And I would certainly encourage you to look into those options as well. Not so much because it is something that's printed on your transcript, but more because it really rounds out your experiences and perspective as you go through the curriculum here at San Jose State. And you'll find that a lot of our faculty are coming from those kinds of different pathways as well. A lot of us spent some time in the field, gathered some experience working in classrooms, working directly with children, and that's really helpful for us to continue to tap into as we engage in the instruction on core content in the field. And so I guess I'll leave it at that so that I can give my other colleagues an opportunity to chime in.
Great. Terry, how about you?
My background is in early childhood. I started out as a preschool teacher and directed programs, was involved in nonprofit management. And I think the exciting thing about being at San Jose State was given the opportunity to use all the things that I experienced to help the department move forward in terms of, the core classes that we have in early childhood, the community focus program, and then also having the experience with the teacher prep programs. And it's, from my perspective, I've been at San Jose State over 20 years. And so many of the people on this panel were my students, including Janine and Laura and our lab teachers. And so it's exciting to see people come to us and then go further in our master's program and then come back to us.
Great, thank you. Laura, how about you?
Well, I have, again, like everyone else, background in a lot of different areas, mainly mental health. And so I bring a lot of that into the classes that I teach. I think my favorite thing about being in this department or in the Lurie College of Education, and as one of our student panelists said, I think Caitlin said it, the diversity of the students. I think I learn more from my students sometimes, than even maybe I'm giving them. So I'm glad that our student panelists, who did amazing, by the way, that they recognize that as well, the diversity of our student body and what you are exposed to as students here, and then how we can then take that into the jobs that you'll be going into.
Great. Nidhi?
As I mentioned here, all that I think one of the things for me was that when I started my undergraduate degree, I'd come out of 5 years of extreme personal distress for different reasons. I'd lost a parent, I was a war refugee, two factors that were not at all in my control. And I had no hopes for what would happen in my undergraduate degree because I was deflated. And yet the experience I had was just unimaginable. So at least as chair of the department and as a faculty member, I think I'm always inspired by, if I could do what my teachers had done for me, then I will have made it. The other part is, in terms of what I love most, is I think that we live in a nation where lots of people think about the inequities and the injustices that are out there. And you're always wondering, you know, I wish I could do something about it. Like, what would I do? How could I make a difference? And this college and this university makes it so easy with the hundreds of years of legacy that they have in fighting inequities. So I just feel like I can find a weekly event, conversation, colleague, or gathering where I'm challenged to think about inequity and to do something about it. And I see that our students are a different breed because of that early exposure to fighting inequity. So I think that's a reason you need to pick us.
Great. Janine, how about you?
I would say San Jose State has been my home for a very long time. I was the first in my family to attend college, and San Jose State was not the first college that I went to. And when that first college did not work out, San Jose State, I worked to get back to where I was, and San Jose State really, when I got there, it was like I could breathe. It was home. And I was a student in the Lurie College of Education. And it was because of my professors that I felt really strong in my skills and my capabilities. And when I left, went on to work in the nonprofit world and social services. And then it was because of my professors when I came back to graduate school that I was introduced to teaching in higher education, and taught in the Child Department for several years before helping to create the Student Success Center. So when we say that Lurie College is a family, it is with great depth that we mean that. It really is. And one of the things that I love about being there, Nidhi kind of alluded to it, if I could do what my faculty did for me, and if I can make students feel the same way, then my job is done. I really do enjoy it, and I know that you will too.
Awesome. Marcus, round us out.
Absolutely. You know, this is just the most exciting college at San Jose State. And what we're doing in this college is, way better than some of the other universities around. I'm just going to put it out there. We are committed to creating a racial justice framework, an equity framework for all of the work that we do. We're committed to creating nurturing opportunities for communities, for families, classrooms, where love and hope and possibility are lived every day. I just did quick math, and if the 17 of you who were there all became high school teachers, which I'm not saying you are, but just as an example, in the next 10 years after you graduated with your credential, you would have the opportunity to work with 25,000 students. 25,000 students, that's the kind of impact that we have. So just really excited for you to be with us, and hoping you can follow up with any questions that you have. Looking forward to working with all of you come August and answer questions ahead of time too.
Yeah. So I hope that, thank you all of you, both to our students and our faculty and panelists for all of your insights. I hope that the themes that those of you who are attending with us today heard consistently really are about, we care about our students, and we care about the work that we're preparing our students to do. This is a space where we're all committed. We're all committed to making an impact. And if that's something that resonates for you, then we hope that you'll join us. It's a great place to be. I come to work when I physically come to work every day, but even if I'm virtually coming to work, excited to be here. And that's a space that we want to be in. You want faculty and staff and students who are excited to be there. And that's not to say that every moment of every day is going to be exciting. There's going to be times that are challenging, but there's going to be people who are there to support you through those challenges. There's going to be people who are there to care for you through those challenges and to celebrate with you in moments of success. So we really, really do very much hope that you'll join us, that you'll be part of our family, our Lurie College family come August. And if you have any questions, any concerns, any moments of, oh my gosh, I'm not sure, you know, doubt, self-doubt is part of the process. Unfortunately, there's often a lot of self-doubt that goes along with, I'm not sure I can do this. And that can be lonely and isolating. And especially now when we're all living in these virtual spaces, we realize that that can be even more challenging. But know that you're not alone. Not only do you have other students and colleagues who are feeling similarly and who are going to be there for you if you reach out and say, I'm just not sure I can do this, they're going to share their story with you as well. And if you share it with us, we're going to be there for you, and we'll walk you through how not only can you do this, you'll thrive with us. We thoroughly believe that. We admitted you because we believe that you can be successful here. And we want you to be with us and to be part of our community so that you can have that impact on the world that you want to have. So thank you so much for being here today. If you have any follow-up questions, please do let us know.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.